J.D. Vance, who has had a much harder upbringing, let's be very clear, than Kamala Harris, who grew up, the two university professors. One was an economics professor at Stanford. He's from Jamaica. The other came from India to be an endocrinologist. She grows up in Canada. It's a very different experience than growing up in a hillbilly territory, as he calls it, shall we say. You know, he's from Western Kentucky and Appalachia area. And he's now married to a woman of Indian descent, interestingly enough. And so this CNN reporter comes along and tries to race bait JD. And I love how he totally shuts the guy down, just destroys him and really turns it on its head. Let's take a look at this clip.
Former president's comments yesterday to the National Association of Black Journalists, where he said that Vice President Harris is, quote, all of a sudden black. As a father of 3 biracial children, did those comments give you pause at all?
They don't give me pause at all. Look, all he said is that Kamala Harris is a chameleon. She goes to Georgia 2 days ago. She was raised in Canada. She puts on a fake Southern accent. She is everything to everybody, and she pretends to be somebody different depending on which audience she's in front of. I think it's totally reasonable for the president to call that out, and that's all he did. I mean, look, she's running as a tough-on-crime prosecutor, even though she implemented open border policies. She's saying that she wants to support the police, yet she wanted to defund the police just 3 years ago. It's totally reasonable to call out the fact that she pretends to be somebody different depending on the audience she's talking to.
And I think there's some real truth to that. I mean, you compare and contrast Kamala Harris with Donald Trump. We don't know what we're getting with Kamala because she's, you know, the flavor of the week. Whatever's working for her politically, she's going to sell. Other than the fact that I do think she's a lot more radical than she wants to let on. We know what we're getting with Donald Trump because we've been there, done that. And, you know, you take the good with the bad and you say ultimately at the end of the day, and this is what a lot of Americans are thinking. I mean, again, I appreciate his forthcomingness, we can put it that way. But I think a lot of Americans feel that even with some of the mean tweets or some of the just blurting out what he's really thinking, even with all of that, they still prefer him because economically they fared so much better. And at the end of the day, how you're doing in your own personal life is really, really, really relevant. A quick shout out to 76 Research. It's my financial company that I co-founded with brilliant investor Rob Horton, who spent more than 20 years on Wall Street as a stock picker. He ran billions of dollars in mutual funds, and the two of us teamed up because I wanted to be able to give you some guidance in terms of your own money and your own freedom, right? Because I see all these things as being very intertwined and interwoven. You want to have your own pathway forward. And so this is why I created 76 Research with Rob. I encourage you to go there to look at 76research.com. We've got different model portfolios, 3 different ones there for you. All hand-picked stocks with a lot of research that went into every single one of them in these model portfolios, 10 to 15 names in each one, and we really guide you through. We don't actually do the investing for you. That's you that needs to do that, and you can do that, in fact, for free, which is great on so many apps these days. I just say this, you got to invest. You got to, even I know people are like, Trish, I don't have the money. I'm like, look, if it's $5, if it's $8 a week, do this for yourself. Do this for your family. Make sure you're investing for the future. And this is meant as a tool to kind of aid you in that process. So there's 10 to 15 names in each of the portfolios. We also have the 76 report. If you just want to get your feet wet there, I encourage you to go there to look at this. You can also do the Founders Club. I think that's the best value really for anyone because you get the 76 report and then you get all the model portfolios. So go check it out there today, 76research.com. I'm also going to put it in the show notes for you. But I'm telling you, like, I care so much about this, and I really think that the media is taking advantage of people and they're trying to spin all this, but ultimately everyday Americans, they understand, they know what matters, and they know that they were able to live better under Trump's economic policies than they can today. And we'll talk about the jobs report coming up because it's another example. Lousy jobs report out today. It's another example. The handwriting is on the wall. The Fed's talking about cutting rates again. Look, we're going to get more inflation. We just are. We're going to get more of it, more of it, more of it. Unless there's a change,